so confused. You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, still unfriend me. 'Cause I'm everything you want. Damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies. Back up on the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's stuff.
Good morning, Don't Unfriend Me Nation. What are we doing?
You know, I didn't check the windows to make sure the windows were working, but I'm just watching Ryan Samuels is on Twitter, and we're on Twitter at the same time. And it's interesting because I didn't know Ryan got his show back. It looks like he's got a new camera. Looks good. And
Guys, I saw him last week, and it did look good. Yeah.
yeah, he looks great. He needs to. It's great because Twitter is finally announcing when we're live, and we're actually up live on X. It's actually posted.
Matt, do you mean X? Yeah.
No, it's Twitter. It's Twitter, just like the Cleveland fucking Indians and the Washington Redskins. It's not X. I refuse to call it X. Why? Just like
We
I
were
won't call
talking about
Facebook-
when the Browns were going to be forced to change their name.
Oh, exactly. Just like Facebook, I'm not going to call it Meta. It's Facebook.
Right.
It's not, listen, I don't have time. I don't have time to keep up with it. I don't give a shit about companies' pronouns. I just want to be honest with you. If I don't care about human beings, why would I care about a company? So, Elon, with all due respect,
That's a great
stop
idea
throttling.
to create a company that's actually based off of that, like Zimzer.
That's going to be great. The Zimzer. And I love that.
Yeah.
Non-binary company. Everybody who works there can't have a name. They got to be pronouns.
Right.
I love it. It's good.
You're a number.
Yeah. Ryan Samuels is over doing his show. It's good to see him back on. I know his internet sucked, and he was getting HughesNet, and then he finally wound up getting X's new internet service, whatever, Starlink or I don't know.
Yeah.
Mars Ovum or whatever the hell it's called, whatever Elon sells. What is Starlink? Is that what it is? Yeah. So yeah, I guess he's doing pretty well. Folks, do I seem dry tonight? I am. I'm dry. My energy level is just meh. And that's the best word to describe it. Just meh.
I'm not getting anything on Rumble, just so you know.
You're not getting any on Rumble.
Getting anything on Rumble, I can't get the video.
Whoa.
You always say this, and then I go over there and it works. Do I need to go over there?
Yes,
Why?
because it's not working for me.
It never works for you.
I
Get
know
out of
how-
Safari.
I'm not
get-
in Safari. I'm in Chrome. I don't stream the show on
Oh,
Safari.
I know what it's doing. It's doing that thing where it's going over to. I hurried. I went too fast. I'll see if I can fix it. Hold on. I don't think I can. I don't think I can fix it. I know what happened. See? It's not showing here, but it'll show up in the dumb show. This is so stupid. I don't know why they do this. See if I can fix it. Edit. Oh, that's why. Here we go. Watch this. Here we go, everybody. You are everybody. Should work now. Take a look.
Tonight's
Yep.
Leroy is brought to you by
See, it
Eagle
wasn't
Rare.
me. It
Oh.
wasn't me.
Love Eagle Rare.
What the hell are you drinking? What, you drinking already?
Eagle Rare.
So I want to show you guys something. I can't show you the whole thing. I can't show you the whole thing. But take a look at my lower left-hand screen. Everyone see that?
It looks like a Santa.
It is. It's a Kwanzaa. It's a Kwanzaa Santa. But
He's
it's
just
from
got a
Target.
tan.
And it's Santa in a wheelchair. This is for Michael for Christmas.
What if he's watching?
Who cares? Who cares?
is-
I wanted him to
Priceless.
open it on live and see.
He'll still open it on live. He'll pretend. Listen, I don't, okay.
Professor
There's
Santa
not many
X.
things I wanted to do. I wanted to show everybody. I can't show everybody the wheelchair and the Santa that you bought. Just because Michael might be watching because his team lost at hockey, it's fine. You know what we could do? What else is there? There's in there a black nutcracker or something.
There's LGBTQ
trans.
nutcrackers.
Let's buy him an LGBTQ nutcracker instead. Okay.
Yeah. The trans,
I just thought
Put a little computer screen in front of it and tell him it's Santa Hawking.
he'll be surprised. He'll forget. He has TBI. He'll forget. He'll watch this show and then he won't remember. So it'll work. I don't shop at Target. First of all, I didn't shop at Target. Olivia shopped at Target. So Olivia found it. So everyone give her a round of applause. Olivia's also wearing her Just a Regular Mom, Trying Not to Raise a Liberal shirt.
Long sleeve tee. Just got it. Love it.
Long sleeve tee coming right at you. It's gonna be an interesting show tonight. We've got Amy's gonna be talking with Olivia in regards to what? Amy, what are we talking about?
Me? Sorry. You talking to me?
No, Amy.
Oh, sorry. My
it's the
kids
other,
are being
it's
so
the other.
freaking loud.
Well, then go slap them and
I
come
just,
back.
like-
I've heard that goes really well.
She gave him the mom stare. I just saw it.
I did see it at the beginning.
I saw it too.
Yeah.
Tell them you're
done.
going to tell them you're going to put them in a wheelchair if they
Yeah.
keep it up.
There was daggers coming out of them eyes.
Yeah.
So
No, I was going to bring up the cost of our Thanksgiving
Rumble not
dinner.
working?
happening.
It is. I'm up.
sorry, Amy. Guys, Rumble's working. Just
Rumble's
refresh.
working now. Yeah, refresh it.
Refresh it. Go
I'm
ahead.
up.
Amy, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to bring up the cost of our Thanksgiving this show and how it compares to previous years and the consensus on the
that's-
stream.
That's going to be interesting. Talk a little bit about prices, inflation, how it correlates to decisions that families are making. And we've made it's going to tie in. The reason why I accepted the topic is because it actually is going to tie into the Spear household. Not because it's not a good topic. It's just there's a lot going on. I don't know if anyone's paying attention, but there's a lot going on in the world. And Thanksgiving dinner, which is kind of a pseudo holiday anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It's just an
because-
excuse to see your family.
Right. And the whole spirit of Thanksgiving would be us going and finding some Native Americans and murdering them. And I don't think that's really gonna stick. I mean, that's not Thanksgiving.
Oh my goodness.
Right. It's more like
Sure.
it's
And
more
now,
taking.
and now these days the family just gets around after the turkey and we watch Yellowstone.
Well,
Right.
The good news is we have progressive DAs, so I'll probably get out of it. Oh, no, I won't. But we can't really celebrate Thanksgiving. I can't go take his land and take his squaw from him and, go shoot his dog dressed up as a buffalo. I can't do those things. So we can't really celebrate Thanksgiving. So it's more of just shoving a bunch of food down our gullet and being gluttons and watching the same football teams play the same game that we've been watching for the last 40 years. It's not really a
Hand in our
holiday.
pants. Yeah.
Hand down our pants. Yeah, it's just it's really not a holiday that so we figured a way how we were going to celebrate differently this year, and it is fantastic. Like, oh no, we're excited. Like
I'm
I
excited
think
to hear.
you should. This is like the best idea I think. Would this be the best idea we've had in
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is a great idea. And it requires no cooking. It requires no family or guests over. Jen is joined. Jen whom? Jen, you're a new caller. I don't know. Was that Jen Beverly or Jen who? Jen. I saw Jen was calling. So Jen, call back. So we're going to talk about that.
In the vein of snatching land, did you see last week there was an article that got published that
Hey,
said
Leroy,
that,
can you turn down your volume just a little bit?
Oh, look at his face.
How's that? Is that better?
It was fine. It was fine where it was at. I was waiting to use it, and I figured out a way to do it. Go ahead.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, I'm
So
okay.
did you see the story that from last week that the U.S. is imposing eminent domain on the agricultural land that was bought by China? So now they're going to auction that land off, I think.
I think
Yeah.
it's
Did you
genius.
see that story from last week? Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did. And I think the U.S. government should do more shit like that. I mean,
Yeah.
why can't we just like get behind what's sound for America and then just focus on the stuff we truly want to fight about. I mean, that's where we used to be. There were things that we didn't argue about. We didn't argue about America's a great country. We didn't argue about a border wall. We didn't. Well, we did. We argued should a wall or be better immigration or better border patrol, but everyone had their shtick. It wasn't like, hey, I'm on the left, I'm on the right. I agree, I disagree. Right. But we shouldn't disagree. Like, there should be no foreign agencies or any foreign companies that own American property at all. And the United States government, honestly, those are taxes that I would pay. If the United States government would go around and buy all major, and then you also could not own a certain percentage of land. So if you own more than 0.2% of the overall land in the United States, like Bill Gates, you have the rest of it forfeiture by eminent domain. Why not? Don't have a problem with that. Why should a corporation? Why? It's a corporation.
Well, not a corporation. I am fine with that with corporations, but not individuals.
Do you understand how much 0.2% of the overall landmass of the United States is? That's like owning Nebraska.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And Bill Gates, I mean, come on. I mean, who needs that much land? And I'm not one of those people like Taylor Swift where they're like, how much money does she really need? She needs all the money she can possibly get. But on the blood of parents sacrificing their third born in order to pay for her fucking sweater that my daughter just bought for $80.
Oh, is it the one that we gotta stop?
Man, I don't know.
Wait a second. What do you mean you don't know? We might not get to a show tonight. We're just gonna random topics. Go. I
think I'm leaning with Amy on this. I think that, if you can afford it, if you're an individual, and you can buy land.
It's not an individual. We say corporation.
Yeah.
Bill Gates is buying it through his companies. It's not personal. Yeah. It's not personal ownership. Yeah. He's buying it through his.
Yeah. I'm very much against the Chinese government owning a significant portion of the land in our country. They own so much. I don't think anyone's actually aware of how much they own. And it's not just China. There are other countries that own significant portions, and it's all the best land that we have, the coastal properties, a lot of the farmland they are now buying up so that they cannot farm it. There's a lot.
Yeah. And I'm fine with it. I'm fine with private ownership. That's not the same thing. It's corporate ownership. Because what happens when that person dies? What does that corporation do with it? And if we have somebody who is a good, upstanding human being, but then they croak and the company gets kicked over to some snot-nosed little shit who went to Berkeley, and this guy decides to go ahead and start making concentration camps or COVID farms off this property, or put solar mills or some shit up there that's completely useless. Yeah. I'm going to be upset about that. So I think there's a difference between private, and like I said, if Taylor Swift wants to make private money, good for her. I support her. What my point is that she literally is destroy. Like, we have to sell our kids into sexual slavery in order to pay for some of her shit. Is what I'm hearing. I can't believe to get a ticket to the concert. It's like $2,000. A sweater
it's insane.
A swetter that is like what?
Like the good seats, or is that like
no? It's
normal?
Basic. It's basic.
It's the freaking it's whatever's available. I mean, and it's not Ticketmaster, it's scalping. But the thing is when you're a billionaire, she could buy Ticketmaster. She could go ahead and go to StubHub. She could go to Greenleaf. She could go to these other companies and just go, you know what? I'm going to take all my proceeds I made from Ticketmaster. I'm going to donate that to charity, and I'm going to have all my ticket sales go through Greenleaf or StubHub, and I'm not going to ask for a dime. So all my fans can actually come see me, and we're going to go ahead and do this the right way. But no, she won't do that. She doesn't care. She's charging $40 for an LP album, a wax album. $40. Though you can buy pretty much any album you want for $5 to $9, and it's been that way since I was in high pants.
Yeah,
but that's capitalism, man. I mean, that's what
capital. It's not capitalism. It's
not.
If
that's what her product, if that's what her label warrants in terms of the price, then let her have at it, man.
That's not capitalism. It's not capitalism when the record company that she was at, she sued, she went independent. There's no competition for Taylor Swift. She has destroyed all the competition. She has just headlined it's conglomeration, man. You can get too big. I don't understand how you can say that. So you're for one social media company, one gas company, one grocery store, one car company.
No.
Well, that's the same thing. Well, that's what she's
saying-
doing. She's monopolized the industry. She has one of the best advertising schemes. She's very, very well known and renowned. And she controls her own destiny by destroying anyone who gets in the industry remotely like her. Who can compete? Who can compete with Taylor Swift? She is now the Oprah of music.
Yeah, good point.
Are you okay with Oprah having the only daytime show on TV?
Yes.
God, no.
I'm amazed Hayden's not down here yet because we mentioned Taylor
No,
Swift.
I'm serious, Leroy. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not for capitalism, but okay, here's an example. The woman doesn't. The whole point about capitalism is give and free take of exchange of ideas and services, right? So if she never ever puts the money back into the United States, she never puts it back into anything prosperous, and she continues to milk families across the United States because their children don't know the difference between a $5 LP and a $40 record, but we're expected as parents to find a way to make that happen. It's very much like Teddy Ruxpin. It's very much like the Cabbage Patch Kids or the Nintendo Wii. It is a false sense of supply and demand, and it's antithetical to capitalism. She never allows any of that money to come back into the general public.
If she built her brand to be, i.e., the Rolls Royce of whatever the hell she sings, or the Lamborghini, if that's her high-end label and that's what people are willing to pay for it, I'm okay with it.
Okay, so you're so cool. So Philip Morris can sell cigarettes to kids.
That's different.
Why? Why is that different?
Because smoking has a physical effect to adolescent children, and this is very different.
And her music has a mental effect to children, where if they don't get to see her, there's kids that want to commit suicide and have.
Oh my gosh. I don't know Taylor Swift. I feel like I need to listen to her music now.
There are children who cut themselves and harm themselves because they can't get a sweater or they can't get a ticket. I don't think you
Hayden
understand.
said
Taylor
she would
Swift's
Listen to this.
Hayden said she would forfeit her car to get to a concert. Her car that she's going to get when she's older.
It's just.
Is that Taylor Swift's fault, though?
Is it Philip Morris's fault that cigarettes are bad for kids?
Yeah.
Why?
Well,
wait, hold on a second.
I have an
Whoa. If you smoke a cigarette a day, are you going to die of lung cancer?
You might.
No, you won't. No, you
might. You absolutely might.
There is absolutely no medical linkage between one cigarette a day and lung cancer, ever. There's never been one medical study to prove that there is a certain amount of cigarettes you can or cannot smoke to establish cancer. So therefore, your argument is null and void. That it's not Philip Morton causing cancer. It's people who don't have the good presence of mind not to smoke 20 cigarettes a day. You can spin anything you want. You can go ahead and piss on me and tell me it's raining. But your argument to me is you're making an apology for Taylor Swift because you think she's a person and she has free reign because her brand is a personal brand. And I disagree. I disagree completely. She's a corporation. She's a conglomeration. She charges exuberant amounts of money for her services. She will not do the Super Bowl.
That's what I was going to say.
For her kids. She's priced out every single person in competition to her. She sells out stadiums and undercuts everybody, does the lowest bid, makes her record company, makes these stadiums pay her versus her paying the stadiums in order to go ahead and book them, knowing that they will have a bigger draw by booking her than not. Now, that's great. I mean, that is fair. That's free market capitalism. But what isn't is charging an unreasonable amount of money for goods and services based upon necessity or emotional needs. And if you don't agree with me, then you're okay with that prick who went ahead and bumped up medicine for diabetes to $1,000 a vial. You're okay with him doing that.
No, one of them you listen to. The other one is an
You're
actual relation.
You're putting
it's a
price
Medicaid.
Go ahead. I'll let you do it. But go ahead and do it. Go ahead.
One of them is an actual medication that helps people, contend with a medical issue, a disease. The other one is music. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, but I
I'll,
mean, it's the
I don't.
same. It's the same comparison to like saying that
No.
Walt Disney shouldn't be as big as it is. And I don't see. I mean, I do see people that are pounding on the doors, basically saying Disney has gotten too big. They carry too much influence. They're bad for our children. I hear those arguments, and at the same time, I'm just like, yeah, but I mean, you still see people lined up at their gates willing to spend thousands and thousands of dollars of their hard-earned money just to get in the front door. And if it doesn't happen, people have problems with it. I mean,
Yeah.
again, she controls the price of her. If she is that talented, I say good on her.
So, okay, go ahead, Amy, and then I
I
want to
just
make my
want to
point
chime
on
in
that.
as
And
someone
then I
who
want
I
to leave
don't
you.
have. Yeah, I don't have a teenage daughter or preteen. I have talked to Hayden because she had on a Taylor Swift shirt, and I was like, "Oh, what's your shirt mean?" Because I really am that like not in tune with Taylor Swift. She's like, "Oh, it's a
Same.
Swiftie shirt," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." Had to think about it, but put it together. And then she was telling me she wanted this sweater. I think it might be. Is it the one that she got? She was like, "It was sold out. Is this much money?" And I didn't have enough to buy it at the time. And so it's not that one. Dang, I was hoping. But then I have another girlfriend whose daughter is 13, and she's like obsessed with Taylor Swift. And I don't see the draw because I'm like, but when I was younger, I loved, New Kids on the Block was that for me. And my mom did take me to
Well,
the
that's a really good
concert.
point.
Yeah, but I wasn't. We got to go to the concert. Now we did win tickets because I don't think my parents would have ever taken me if they weren't like basically free. Because it was expensive for back then. I don't know how much they were, but it was expensive. Plus, we didn't live near the stadium where they were performing, so it was like a whole thing. But we also didn't have social media back when I was a child where there was pressure. I think there's a lot of social pressure, and I think that is why these teenagers are truly obsessed with these, they're idolizing these people who, as adults, were like, okay, it's not a big deal. It's a freaking, singer. Who cares?
Right.
Because in our life, it doesn't matter. But to them, like everything is life or death, right? Everything is like the end of the world. If you don't have the right book bag, if you don't have the right, I don't know what kids are in. I really don't know because my kids are not old enough, but like, I do understand the social pressures of it. And I know it's different than when we were kids, but I do agree with Matt that Taylor Swift is not just Taylor Swift. She is an entity. She is a corporation. She is a business,
She's a
even though it's her
corporation.
name that's on the business. She is a business. But I also see
Yeah.
Leroy's point too, because
Okay,
I do
but I
agree.
haven't made my point. So
Okay.
I'm still
That's what she said.
I'm totally fine with everyone going, but you can't say I'm with Leroy because you haven't, not you, Amy, but there's
No.
people. I'm with Leroy. You can't be with Leroy. I haven't made my point yet. And you
That's
may absolutely be with Leroy, and that's awesome, but you can't do that until I make my point. I made a statement, and I'll show you there was already hypocrisy in his statement, is that he's not okay with diabetic companies charging whatever they want, even though there are other industries, even though there were other patents that made it more expensive, but they were interested in their profit margin. Instead of lowering it, they got killed and they got absorbed by this other company. And this company was making so much money, they just bought them out and basically buried their patents. You were okay with that. You think that's cool. So as long as you admit that that's okay to do, then I totally see your point, because Taylor Swift is more than a person, a single entity. She's a corporation. She is worth billions of dollars. She sets the price. She changes the way that these venues charge people. And what she's doing is ignoring the price hikes that are going on. And let me explain what's going on. For example, PS5 and Xbox. I guarantee you were a person, as having kids who play video games, that you wanted a more affordable option than $2,000 to $3,000 for units during COVID. I'm positive, Leroy, you were one of those people. Well, at least I was. And the free market was priced out of the equation because the free market didn't have the control and influence. The big companies did. The middleman did, which is antithetical to a free market capitalistic society. It is an exchange between two people, not a third party. So therefore, when Xbox or Nintendo or PS5 were making false demand for their product based upon chipsets that were not being produced because of COVID and a lack of overall materials to make the product, people would go in and buy them at cost. Sony didn't hike up their price. Xbox didn't hike up their price. They sold them for the same amount. But what happened is scalpers came in, bought them up,
Sure.
private entities, and charged $3,000 to $4,000, which is very similar if there's a hurricane, taking water and saying, you don't have to buy this 100-gallon drum of water. You can go to the gas station. Well, the gas stations are closed. Well, that's not our fault, so we're going to charge you $1,000 for this barrel of water. That's illegal. Taylor Swift is allowing Ticketmaster to do this. She will not stop it. She will not put a stop to this. So what she's doing is she's taking away the exchange of free goods between one person and another and using a third party to go ahead and allow insane amount of inflation prices on her tickets with her first concert, therefore selling out her next 3 years of concerts already. So the consumer is completely taken out of the equation. The scalpers have already bought them. So Taylor Swift has the power to stop that simply by saying, hey, I'm not going to do that concert. She also has to do it with her clothing line, where she will put a limited edition of 10 sweaters up there, sell them for $75, allow them to go on eBay, go up to $500 a piece, and then she decides to go ahead and release 10,000 sweaters and sell them all at $99.95 where it's a deal. That is price gouging, and it's manipulation of the market. So when you sit here and tell me, oh, poor Taylor fucking Swift, let me show you what I did. I put my money where my mouth is. And instead of spending $85 on a sweater that was sold out, I used my graphic design skills and I made my own, and mine looks better.
It does.
So I went ahead and I made my own sweater for my daughter. This is the design. And I went there and I used Photoshop to make it myself. And I got this sweater for $30 as she charges 80 some odd dollars for her sweater. So it comes down to this. Taylor Swift can do that all she wants. She can price gouge parents, but people and the free market will find a way to be successful and ultimately take Taylor Swift out because we'll get sick of it. And I'm sick of it.
Wait. Say that again. You're saying that some other corporations and some other entities are going to come in and make a better product.
That's not what I said. I said I did. Am I a corporation or an entity?
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
You are your own.
I'm an
label.
individual person. I didn't sell that. I'm not selling it on the open market. I'm a person with a particular set of skills. The entire mass populace, that's not free market. To say individualism is indicative of a free market is ridiculous. Individualism is for our liberties, right? But as capitalism, that is populism. Capitalism is for everyone. It's not for individual. When you focus on the individual, you might as well have totalitarianism or socialism. That you can't say because I'm able to make a shirt and replicate it without hitting trademark opportunities. Therefore, the problem's solved for the masses. That's a ridiculous notion.
Well, my question is, are these sweatshirts sold out on the dumb site? Jesus, dumb
No,
site?
I won't make money off of her proprietary brand. I only made it for my daughter. So she could have a shirt where we wouldn't have to spend $90 on.
So I can give it to my girlfriend's
No, because
daughter?
I don't think that's ethical. I don't think it's ethical to do outside of private use. I'm not going to make money off of someone else. Yeah, of course you can. I'm teasing. Of course you can.
Right.
But that's not going. But that's not going to solve the situation because in the end, it's not Taylor Swift. It's not branded, and it makes a difference. Leroy, I understand what you're saying in principle, but I've given you specific examples of how it's wrong for you on other places to do it. Sure. But I think your shtick is that she's a private citizen, but you're not understanding she's not. This is through her corporation.
I understand what you're saying about the corporation, but I think that the examples that you threw forward aren't necessarily proper examples, i.e. things like medication or cigarettes are things that you either physically bring into your body or things that will physically affect your breathing or your blood sugar. It's music. That's all she gets paid to do is just
music
sing
is one of the most
perform.
soothing things for the soul.
Sure.
It has one of the most restorative properties ever. Music and dance. The Bible even talks about it. Do you think God would be comfortable with people charging $2,000 for a child to sing and song and dance and celebrate life? I don't
know what the Bible would say, but
why?
I mean, again, if somebody is willing to pay for it.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand. So every time I bring up religion, you seem to get frustrated by it because what I'm saying is there should be no price tag on happiness, right? You should be able to do general things like walk outside your house and breathe or go to a park or go and get a snow cone if that's what you want to do. I'm sure we all agree with that. The general cost of happiness should be free. If you want to expand upon your happiness due to the things that you have to have, those are liabilities to your overall pocketbook and overall well-being if you put them first and foremost. So I'm with you. Diabetes medication is, I guess, a bad example. Smoking is a bad example. So let me give you another one. Is that fair? Okay. So toilet paper. You don't have to have toilet paper. You can buy a bidet. You could use leaves. You could use sandpaper, or you could be like,
My wife. Sure.
right, you can use tampons. But when people were charging $100 for 15 rolls of toilet paper, you're okay with that because it's a private citizen basically pricing something for supply and demand. Is that fair?
Yes and no. Again, if there's some goober out there who's dumb enough to buy it for $1,000 for a roll, hey, then that's a fool is soon departed with their money, right? And in the meantime, those who are more sensible and those who have more, fiscal responsibility, we understand that, and we're going to find alternative methods. We're going to go out and look for, different manufacturers or local suppliers. We're going to go that route. We're going to say, look, maybe we're not going to buy toilet paper. How much is that thing of napkins? We're going to be creative with that.
Okay. So
Can I say something?
yes, please do, because then I want to make a point on his point. Go ahead.
Okay, so didn't during COVID that I think it happened here and a few other places where people bought up all the hand sanitizer?
No, stick with the toilet paper.
Yeah.
There's a response for the toilet paper. Can we do that response
Yes.
for toilet paper and then hit this?
Yes.
That's not what you're saying. You're bringing it down to the individual. An individual find the solution for a free market. A free market isn't based upon the individual, and we don't price things based upon the individual. We base it upon supply and demand, which is dictated by the overall population. Whether you find it as a necessity or a commodity or something that you don't need is an individual choice. But setting the price and setting the standard and availability and creating a false need for it is manipulation of the market. What you're saying is that, well, if somebody pays for $1,000, that's not the effect that it has, Leroy, and you know it. It's not the individual's purchasing power that causes the problem. It's the fact that somebody is selling it for $1,000, which drums up the overall price, and people go out and buy in mass quantities and then try to resell it for $500. So it creates a false market. It creates a false sense of supply and demand. And overall, the individual consumer is then infected by a populist policy. That's what I'm trying to tell you. She is singling out. She's driving up ticket prices on every single concert. She's allowing taxes to be paid that are 3 times the cost of what taxes were a year ago. Now, over 43% of the ticket that you buy to a concert or to a hockey game is taxes and licensing fees for these companies trying to make up over year when there isn't a Taylor Swift concert. I mean, it's absolutely destroying the consumer market when it comes to album sales, when it comes to our digital sales, when it comes to clothing sales, when it comes to even advertising costs and booking performers. She's holding out on the Super Bowl, and she won't even do the Super Bowl just to show her fans a free show because there's no money in it for her. Her contract, what she wants every single stadium that an NFL team is in to have a free concert and for them to give her that revenue for free is what she's saying. She's holding the music industry hostage. And if you don't believe me on that, besides the clothes and besides that, I was there in 2015 with Apple when she came on the screen with 3,000 of us, and her and Dre and other people were talking about coming to Apple exclusively. She had signed the NDA. She had signed the contract. And because in the last minute, she didn't like the amount of money she was getting, she stood up in front of 3,000 people and said, you know what? I don't think I can do this. And then went behind Apple's back, put them in fucking legal trouble with her money because she wouldn't agree to a contract that she signed. I don't think Taylor Swift is an ethical person. And I think if you go ahead and take the toilet paper analogy and be honest about it, you would understand what I'm trying to say. That's all. Agree or disagree, it's fine. She's a piece of shit.
Would have to. She is a piece of shit, and it's not like I'm ever going to go to one of her concerts. But at the same time, again, I mean, good on somebody for making that kind of scratch just for singing.
But
if they command that kind of, if they command that kind of loyalty from her base, then and I understand
loyalty.
What you're saying,
these children don't have the money. It's the parents that are looking. Olivia, go ahead.
Okay.
You do it.
Yeah,
because I can't get through to them on this.
It definitely. I mean, as far as we have to hear every day about Taylor Swift, every day. And we've tried to teach Hayden about money, and we try to tell her you need to be patient and make sure it's something you really, really want. Well, she got a hoodie out of her own babysitting money. And a week later, the cardigan comes out that she wants. And it's a limited edition on sale for 72 hours only. She doesn't have enough money. So for the past month, she's been raking us over the coals because we told her no. Every day.
It's not
want the cardigan.
not that bad. It's not like our child is.
But she just, she's
I
still,
get it.
I want the cardigan. I want the cardigan. I want the cardigan. And she's constantly talking about it. And so even though we've held our ground, she's still bugging us about it.
It's like saying
Just
TikTok
like-
is clever.
Does she have-
It's like saying
does she have-
TikTok is clever marketing.
Does she have buyer's remorse for the first sweater that she bought then?
No, but the only problem
Oh,
is she bought it a month ago and she's not going to get it until Christmas.
Oh, snap.
I think I'm making a very poor argument here, and maybe it's a losing argument, but I'm not able to really convey what I'm trying to say. I think our arguments are two different things. One is from a moral and ethical standpoint, from business practices and business standards, which is my argument, and your argument is free reign capitalism. I'm not disagreeing. The first thing I said was she's worth $1 billion and she's earned every penny. That's not what I'm saying. My point is that she is not investing back into and making it better. She is hoarding billions of dollars. She owns the rights to everything she has. She's driving up the prices on consumer product and concerts all over the United States. I guess the biggest thing I can tell you, Leroy, is here's another example. She single-handedly drove up movie ticket prices by 17% with her antics of doing, instead of releasing her concert on a Blu-ray or giving it to HBO or giving it to Nickelodeon for people to see after she made billions off of it, because she was making, what, $23 million a show?
Something like that.
So
Holy
after you have no idea. You guys have, you obviously haven't researched this.
No, I don't.
So
nothing.
not only that, because after ticket sales and the actual stadiums paying her, all of her food's paid for. She has no overhead on her concerts. The stadiums pay for all of it. She demands it. And of course, she's created a brand. I understand that. But what that does is it creates prices going up. So her little movie that she did, that 2-hour concert event, instead of doing what everyone else does and putting it out on a DVD or Blu-ray or putting it on Apple for rent, she decided to go ahead and charge how much? $20 a ticket.
$19.89.
$19.89
Because it had
a
to be
ticket.
after her $19.89.
So she reinforces the emotional connection to her music. She takes advantage of children. And then parents are like, you know what? We can say no. That's fine. We could say no. But we want to make sure our daughter, like when the new G.I. Joe toy, I wanted it. I knew that. That would be like charging $99 for Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow and charging $1.99 for Lady Jane. Okay? As a G.I. Joe toy collector, you're not going to pay that shit. You know Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes are the bucks. Taylor Swift charged $20 per, and now all movie prices have gone up 17%. Some of it's inflation, but a lot of these movie places are hurting, and they've now have to realize that year over year they have to annualize, and they cannot compete with the banner year that they had. So they now have to up their prices on every movie in order to make up for what Taylor Swift did. Do you see the conundrum? You can sit there and say those movie theaters could just not show Taylor Swift. Well, you know that's going to have a negative impact on their business. So what she's doing is she's creating a false demand and gouging prices. And if it's illegal in every other sense, why is it not illegal with her? That's my argument.
I understand your argument. It just sounds to me, tell me if I'm wrong, if I'm interpreting this incorrectly. It sounds like she has incredibly high demand, and therefore she can charge, commensurately more money for her concerts. You're not going to get the same thing from a local talent who, is known by literally a few thousand people. That person is going to end up charging $10 at a state fair if they're lucky, right? But because Taylor Swift has that demand, she's able to command that kind of pricing.
So your belief is that Fleetwood, that Eagles doing a reunion tour for $250 is okay, and I would agree with you. Standard to another concert like Def Leppard, which would be $65, but because she is such an incredible talent, she gets to charge $2,000 per seat. That's your argument.
The demand, no, I'm saying if the demand is there, I'm not comparing
the demand
Taylor Swift
isn't there,
to the
Leroy.
Eagles. to the Eagles or Def Leppard because there is no comparison there.
What? That Def Leppard is the single-handedly the largest touring band of all time over the Eagles and over
amazing.
Fleetwood Mac? So you're saying that Def Leppard...
I was always an Eagles fan, so...
I'm both.
But I did love Def
There's
Leppard.
In what world can't you be both?
Right, exactly.
Can I say something?
Anyway.
Sure. Okay.
And I have a question when you're done.
All right. Olivia first, then Amy, then Leroy. Go ahead.
Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, during COVID,
and I don't care. If you don't like the topic, pop smoke and come back tomorrow.
Who doesn't like the topic?
I don't give a shit.
Oh, and I have a good one. Damn it.
Because this show covers a wide range of topics, and if you think that this isn't important to families,
oh, trust me, it's going to come around.
And if we're
You'll
not
understand,
if we're not sitting here and having this conversation around the dinner table, then you know this conversation is for you. But you know what isn't? Is a lot of people talking about Jews and Hamas killing each other. They don't give a shit about that either. So hey, different strokes for different folks. It's not always about the topic; it's about the debate itself. So I think this is one of the best ones we've had because this is the most fiery. Go ahead.
Okay,
Liv.
so during COVID, these two guys bought up all of this hand sanitizer, and then they sold it.
Oh, yeah.
For a massive amount of money. That was illegal, and they got in trouble, and they had to pay all the money back, and they got in some serious legal trouble, and it happened everywhere. Mm-hmm. Taylor Swift, her Eras Tour, when it went on sale, sold out in 2 minutes. Why? Because the scalpers got on, bought all the tickets, and resold them for $20,000 to $22,000 a pop. She can stop that. And that should be illegal. If it's illegal to sell hand sanitizer at $100 a bottle and buy it all out, why is it not illegal for these scalpers who go on, and that's their business, and they buy every single ticket and then resell them for, 1,000% higher than what they bought it for? And then these kids can't go to these concerts. She has the right to stop it and say any ticket that is resold, I will not accept.
That's it.
And that's all she has to do. But because she's not doing that, no regular person gets to go to her concert. My daughter will never be able to go to her concert because I don't have the time to sit there and hit the refresh button for 3-4 hours and pray to God that when I do, when it's actually on sale, that I actually can get a ticket, because I won't be able to. And that's what's wrong. And she can stop it, and she's not. It should be illegal, and she should stop it. That's my argument. Here's the other argument I have for Taylor Swift.
Mom got involved. Oh boy.
I think it is completely wrong for celebrities to push their political ideologies, especially on young people.
Mm-hmm.
Did anyone hear what Taylor Swift just said?
Free economy, but fuck speech. Nice, Leroy.
Did anyone hear what Taylor Swift just said?
That's what you just said.
No clue.
No, that's not what I just said, man.
If Trump
yes, you
gets
did.
reelected,
That's exactly what you just said.
Oh
you
God.
just said free economy, and you said that she shouldn't be able to push her political beliefs. Why can't she push her political beliefs?
That's not what. Okay, first of all, you're taking words out of my mouth. All right.
Okay, then explain
Just
what you
because
said.
if somebody has a platform, right, and all of a sudden it's some Swiftie out there who's like, oh man, you should only vote for Joe Biden. Yes, it's going to have a fucking huge detrimental impact. Should it happen? No. But am I going to, again, that's her ability to say that. That's her speech. People go to see her. She's allowed to say whatever the hell she wants.
That's not what you just said.
That's not.
You should rewind the show, because that's not what you just said. You just said it should be illegal for her to go ahead, and it's not right for her
I
to
did
have
not say
speech.
that.
Yes, you
I
did.
said she shouldn't do that.
Why shouldn't she? It's free speech. If she can go ahead and price gouge, why can't she have free speech? I'm just confused at where you draw the line in the Constitution. You also love. You just said she shouldn't do it. Why?
She shouldn't be selling tickets for $2,000 either. But I'm not going to stop her from doing it.
She's not, brother.
See what I'm saying?
The thing. No. What you're saying is you just made a moral platitude for your argument. But when I make a moral platitude for mine, you sit there and got upset.
No, I'm not upset about anything.
No, okay. Okay, I'm not going to play games with you, dude. You just said that morally, when I brought up God, that people should be able to sing and dance and do all that type of stuff, that it was kind of a mockery of that, right? Well, I think it's a valid reason. Well, you just said she shouldn't have free speech. She shouldn't be able to pick a political candidate.
Say that.
You just said that.
I said she
So
shouldn't
clarify.
do that.
Yeah, that's what shouldn't means. How is my definition of shouldn't different than yours? How am I not using the word shouldn't correctly?
Because the way you're adding nouns to what I'm saying makes it sound like that I'm against the Constitution in some way, and I'm not. She absolutely has the ability to do that. In my moral opinion, should she? No, I would not do that.
Okay, so
but I also
go ahead.
If you allow me to clarify some of this stuff, I think you and I are a lot closer. Go ahead.
No, dude, I was just giving you green light to go. Go.
Again, I would never charge that kind of money. I don't have, Taylor Swift kind of talent or, her kind of gravity in terms of the singing world, but it wouldn't matter to me. I mean, I would never stifle what somebody, has to say. There are too many celebrities who do that already. And it doesn't matter if they lean left or right. I wouldn't want them to stop doing it. Right. Okay. But to have that kind of gravitas and then throw that in the political ring, that's like saying, do I think James Woods, who leans very right, should he say some of the things that he says? Probably not if he wants to hold on to his career. Right. But would I stop him from doing it? Absolutely not.
Okay. So I believe that thank you for clarifying. I don't think it does anything for the argument because I think you just made the exact same argument that I made, but you just changed the position and the stance. I was making a moral argument that it's wrong, that it's price gouging, and it's not ethical to do so. As a corporation, as an individual, she has every right to do that. And in a capitalistic society, she can make that choice. I think ultimately it's going to do more harm than good, and she will fall from grace. And when she does, there's nothing like a parent's scorn. Your argument that's what set me off is that when we're talking about free speech, I hate the fact she said what she said, which Olivia's going to tell you. But when you say she shouldn't say that, that's the same argument I'm making with her free market capitalism. That's really price gouging, and ethically, it's completely unsound. So if I can make that about the economy, you should be able to make that about free speech, and that's fine. She can say it. She shouldn't. There's a very big difference. Then she shouldn't.
Yeah, I don't think celebrities should use their celebrity status to push political ideology. I don't.
See,
especially someone as popular as Taylor Swift and who she's popular with.
What did she say, Hans? Everybody wants to know.
If Trump gets elected president, she's leaving America and she will move out of the country. And I'm holding her to it. So, yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. And nobody believes it, right?
It's just like Alec Baldwin and Whoopi Goldberg and the other ones who said it back in 2016 and
Trudeau
2020.
said it, but he didn't realize he was from Canada because he's so fucking stupid.
And I mean, it baffles me and it makes me laugh at the same time that somebody who has made her billions of dollars in America because she lived, born and raised in America, and this is where her career started, that she's willing to move out because she doesn't like the president.
It's really good. It's a really good point.
Ridiculous.
It's a good point.
Absolutely ridiculous. And I'm
sure she could sell all those CDs over in Russia.
Exactly.
Well, hold on. Amy's got a point, and then I want to bring it back because I do have one more point to make that I think will put the cherry on top here, and I think it'll close the loop between Leroy and I. What sounds like we're on the same side with completely different topics. I think we're using the same argument for two very different situations, and I think I'll be able to put that to bed. We'll see. There's nothing wrong with arguing passionately, folks. This isn't a pissing contest. Leroy and I have argued in the past. It's not like we don't argue. If you're not friends and you're not married if you don't argue. I completely, anyone who doesn't argue in a relationship, it's not a real fucking relationship.
Right.
You're afraid to tell somebody the truth. You do. Mm-hmm. Amy, go ahead. What did you want to say?
Well, I will say the freedom of speech thing, going back to her being a corporation, even when she's on stage, even when she's taught on an Instagram post, she's still that corporation. I don't care that she has an opinion. I
Yeah.
do not think she should be allowed to give her opinion because that is her personal opinion. She should have a
Yeah.
different
Churches
account
can't do
for
it.
that. Yeah, I think it should be a different
man.
account. I do not believe that she should be allowed to give political information out
It's a good
at
argument.
all.
It's a good argument.
That's
And she's a
my
501c3 too. She has a charity. So if churches
Right.
can't do it, why can she?
Look how
So
bad-
my other, I just have a question. And it's mostly for Olivia and Matt, unless your boys are into Taylor Swift, which I don't think they are. Um, because I don't know. I truly do not know this, and I am not I am not in this world. This is like foreign to me. But
Throw it out there. What do we got?
are kids going to these concerts? I mean, we live in an affluent area, so like
Yes.
I can
Yeah, rich
see in
people.
our area, sure. But like,
Yeah.
what about middle America? What about the kid
Let me-
from wherever? Are
Let
they
me answer
going?
the question. I called, just quickly, I called Vice President of Retail Sales Global at Apple, iTunes, personal friend. I called the president of the Eastern Seaboard at iHeart. I reached out to 2 VPs and 1 owner's son of Comcast in Philadelphia. And I also reached out to, oh God, what is it called? I'm trying to think of the media group's name. Odyssey.
Yeah.
The president of Odyssey, who I had his number. None of them could get me tickets. And these are all people who said, if you ever need anything, you need Stanley Cup tickets, you need Super Bowl tickets, you need World Cup tickets, let us know. And have followed through on Denver Broncos club level seats, sitting with Paul Hogan, the governor,
Yeah.
getting behind home plate, $7,000 Washington club level seats with full dinner, full free alcohol, everything behind home plate for Houston Astros. I mean, anything I want, I get. And I said, I need 2 Taylor Swift tickets, one for my wife, one for my daughter because she can't go alone. And they said, bro, you may as well be asking for a kidney. We're presidents of multi-billion-dollar corporations. We can't. So here's my last example. Then I'm going to put this to bed after Leroy goes. And if anybody else wants to chime in, because Leroy and I have monopolized, which is hilarious. Because usually if it's military, it's us. If this is a girls' topic, shit, this is totally like moms. I mean,
did you just say monopolated?
I did. Yeah.
The look.
I'm
Monopoly.
now I have to start calling it out.
Well, actually,
every
wait a
time.
second. No, hold on a second. Hold on. No, actually, look it up. That word works. It's a word. Because if you can use,
Scrabble set right
hold on
here.
a second. God damn it. If you can say monopoly, if you can say populace, you can say manipulated. Absolutely, you can. Look it up. I bet that's a word.
All right.
Someone look it up.
I'm sure it is.
I'm looking it up.
We need one of the
Manipulated.
dummies to help us out.
I think you might, because mono and popul, they're both Latin for the word of more than one and then a singular for mono. Let's see. What are you doing? I thought you were looking it up. Oh, is Amy looking it up? See if
I'm looking it
manipulated
up.
is a word.
I'm looking it
See
up.
if
It's,
I'm interested. You're
well-
probably right.
well,
And see, there's a difference between mispronouncing a word and also being up and doing the amount of shit that I do. So occasionally you'll make a mistake. But you're very vindictive tonight. You're very angry about something. You should probably vet it, and we should talk about it on the show of why you're so.
I think it is a word. I think it is a real word.
It is a
It's
word,
kind of
and that's
weird.
just it's just Leroy being a dick, and this is what he does. And he has to,
I've never heard that word.
Well,
just because you haven't heard of it doesn't mean it's not existed.
Merriam-Webster, which do we still use that? There's monopolize.
It's the past tense for monopoly. Yes.
Monopolizer.
Yeah,
have
monopolizing,
a-
monopolizing, manipulated, manipulation. You can say all of those derivatives of the words because it's showing past tense, pretense, and post tense. So there would be no reason why you couldn't. No, I mean,
But
shit.
Monopoliated
well-
is on Urban Dictionary.
Well, that doesn't count.
shit.
That doesn't count. I think manipulated
It's
would be.
combining monopolize and manipulate at the same time.
Well, that's what monopoly is. A monopoly is a manipulation of the market.
So
it
it's on
means
Urban
the same
Dictionary. I'm
thing.
not seeing it.
In terms of Scrabble rules, that works. So
No, it
point for
doesn't.
Matt.
I just want to know if it is or isn't. It doesn't matter. Let's make the last point, and then we can put this sucker to bed, and then you can continue to be angry. Lee, you don't know if it's not a word. You seem angry. Lee, you don't know if it's not a word. I'm wondering if it is, because either way, it was a Freudian slip. It certainly was, because I was mixing the word monopoly and populated, and it came out fast. But I don't believe it would be, but it very well could be. So we need to find out. Colin Kaepernick Colin Kaepernick is a perfect example of what we're talking about. Colin Kaepernick took a knee, did not explain to anyone what he was doing. Mm-hmm. But before that, he sat down during the anthem. He didn't take a knee until later. He sat on his ass and didn't explain anything to anyone. Got into a conference with the news and somehow maligned the American flag with atrocities that happened to unarmed black people and with police officers shooting them. And they were urbanopulated people. See, does that work? No, urbanopulated.
Urbanopulated.
So,
I'll take it now.
No, you won't take it because it's not a word. And if people say it's not a word, then it's not a word. But the difference is that I'm not trying to sell it as a word. It was a Freudian slip, and I put two words together versus you mixing up volume and valium. So whatever. You say potato, I say potato. It doesn't matter. Here's the problem, is that Colin Kaepernick deceived people. Then he realized that his career was kind of getting fucked. And he had a lot of negative press for what he did. So what did he do? He went and found a vet. And he wrapped his arm around the one vet who said, yeah, dude, taking a knee isn't disrespectful. Like, I bet you if you polled 1,000 vets, 998 would tell you this is some disrespectful shit. 2 of them wouldn't. So therefore, as long as you find one, it's like finding a black Ku Klux Klan member and saying, hey, man, it's all good. They're good people, right? And using that one person who joined the Klan who was a black person to go ahead and say that they're exemplary. He grabbed that veteran, and then he went out, and then he made it with the knee and changed the narrative. He then played victim, played the race card, did everything else. Didn't show up to any practices, got cut from the team. He had massive tryouts. He wanted to control them. He wanted his own camera crew, do it in his own facilities. So what did he do? He played the victim. He shot down all these shoes that companies made because they had the 13 star, including Nike, and said, well, I can't support Nike. So Nike scrapped their shoe. They did everything for him, and he literally destroyed all other brands. Kobe Bryant's brand, he destroyed frickin' the guy in Sacramento, the three-point shooter who's incredible in Sacramento, his brand, and he priced everybody out. Then he wound up getting $100 million contract for Nike for doing absolutely nothing, being their black ambassador of equity.
And he bitched and complained that the way he grew up, and he was so, I don't know, he didn't say impoverished, but he was, he had a hard life.
Right.
He was adopted by rich white parents.
And Taylor Swift got interrupted by Kanye is her claim to fame. And all I'm trying to tell you is it's exactly the same. Between Colin Kaepernick and Taylor Swift, you can either say marketing genius or fucking scumbags, and both can be true. And I love Taylor. Yeah. I love Taylor Swift's music. I'm not going to lie. I dig her music. I just don't like her as a person. That's it. Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Was manipulated a word?
It is in the Urban Dictionary, but it's not real. But I want to look it up because just because a word isn't used, Amy's right. Depending upon, I've never heard it used, but if I did, it was a complete mistake.
Based on the merits of this show, that Matt should make a shirt that says "manipulated," right, and then charge $50 for the shirt.
You know what we should do? We should also make a shirt with Christian Slater on it going like this, and it'll say "Pump up the volume." You could do that too. That'd be great.
Ooh,
like, walking around, smoking a joint, getting stupid. I want to pump up the volume. I love it. It's good stuff. All right, folks. We have a show tonight.
You didn't put the timer on tonight, I see.
Oh, well, honestly, we got into it so quick. I just didn't.
Oh, we just started. gloves were out the moment we.
Oh, we're not
well,
doing another
get
2
here.
hours, are we?
No, we're not even
Oh.
close to doing another 2
I
hours.
was
But
like-
you know what's good is that we're at 56 minutes, and that should work out. I was going to say we were running a little thin tonight, to be honest, anyway. But Leroy and I have manipulated most of the time, so therefore it kind of works when you say that. Manipulated. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Amy, tantalizing titulations. Amy, you get to go ahead and talk about, and Olivia too, with pricing, Thanksgiving dinner, and what it all means. I've got an article that you linked to me. Let's go through it. I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are on this and why this topic reared its gobble tonight.
Yeah.
Interested to hear.
Well, I really sent you that link just for the statistic report there, just so people could see. I don't know if you can do it on the computer, because I tried, but on your phone you can actually look at it as like a bar graph, which I think makes sense.
The price hike's charging me for freaking a service. I mean, the price hike on the price hikes of turkey is charging me. That's okay.
I did take a
Have you tried
screenshot
getting
of
your
it.
turkey through Ticketmaster?
so
I'm
I
telling you, I've
can-
heard they're very fair on their prices.
I
So
took a
go ahead and
screenshot, but
tell
it's a little
us.
bit different. So, this obviously Thanksgiving is coming up on Thursday. It's something that I'm curious about as a mom, as someone who I do all the grocery shopping in the home. I am responsible for the budget for these things. And we take years on and off. So like we are not hosting this year, so I don't have as much to do now. I am buying stuff for the kids' school. I'm doing 2 different dishes for each of their classes at school, so I'm doing a little bit, and I'm doing stuff for family as we're going to visit them this year. But I don't have to do the whole Thanksgiving myself. But according to the Farmers Bureau, this should be cheaper overall for Thanksgiving from last year. I think they said on average, now this is not true for across the entire nation. This is like the average for the nation. They said it would be around $61 and I think 17 cents to feed 10 people on Thanksgiving this year, which is, they said, about 4.5% down from last year. However, overall, we are up. Obviously, since about 2019, we've gone up over 25% in our Thanksgiving meals. And yeah, this has the farmers. That's what the Farmers Bureau uses as their basic. They also have an extended one with like ham on it and whatnot, which brings you up another like $25. I think it's like $75 for the extended one if you're doing more than this. However, I did more digging and went through like different areas in the country and their average prices. And what I found was that the Northeast, and I know we're in Virginia, so we're considered a southern state, but I still know that we are in the most expensive place in the nation. So I'm going to glom us into that. We do have the most expensive grocery prices, I think, some of the highest in the nation. And I know just a little bit I bought has been more than this. I spent almost $400 in this past week in groceries.
Holy
and
shit.
I spent about $250
They're
to
saying it's up
$300.
60%.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving dinner prices soared 60% in 5 years. I thought you said it was cheaper because everything I'm reading is saying that it's higher.
This year in particular, they're cheaper because the turkey prices have gone down a significant amount, because last year there was a significant bird flu outbreak and turkeys were extremely hard to come by and turkeys went up astronomically. So this year turkeys
So
are
it's
cheaper.
basically, it's a fortuitous bounce. It has nothing to do with anything that Joe Biden has done.
No. This has nothing. No, this has nothing to do with Joe Biden. At least from my research, this has nothing to do with Joe Biden's economic plan for our country, which we're doing so well. I don't know about y'all, but I have so much money in my account
Still waiting
lately.
for that Build Back Better to kick in.
No, turkey. Turkey is even though we have more turkeys, they're still going up in price. I think so. They're cheaper, but it's still 21% higher than like the last 5 years for turkey, even though it's cheaper than last year.
So previous year, but over a 5-year index, it's hockey sticking. But there was a lull because of a false. So someone Taylor Swift the turkeys is what you're telling me.
Yeah. Well,
See,
the
we
bird
come
flu or
full
whatever.
circle. We come full circle.
Yeah. But if you live in the Midwest, you can expect your Thanksgiving dinner to cost you. And this is, again, I don't live in the Midwest, but I did a lot of research. I looked into people and I went and found people who had grocery bills and who did the Farmer Bureau like challenge to see how much they could spend. And in the Midwest, they were spending a little bit more. I think they were spending, it was about, so for the Farmer Bureau in the Midwest, I think averaged about $52 for 10 people. And I think the cheapest person I was able to find was 57 at the grocery store. And that person did go to 3 different grocery stores to complete the list, which I'm not going to do.
I'm looking at that list and $1.50 for rolls. Where?
Yeah, maybe per
And
maybe
that's-
per roll per person.
Where?
Right.
I mean, to get crescent rolls, it's like $3 a canister here, and there's only 8 of them. So how is it going to feed 10 people? You're going to have to get 2. So right there, that's $6.
Exactly.
I mean, potatoes at Harris Teeter are like the 5-pound bag is like $7. I mean, there's no way that $50 and whatever cents.
That's for the Midwest. They allotted 61.17 as an average, and then they broke it down into different areas. The Northeast was the highest area, and I consider us to be in that area because we are in the most expensive county here in the nation. I think that still holds true. It's just so expensive. I will tell you, crescent rolls at our local market, $3 for 1 crescent roll.
Damn, that's ridiculous. Can I chime in for 2 seconds? I'm having some resource. There's several different tools that I use when a word is in question. Monopolist is a word. A monopolist, which means it's an action of monopoly. Yeah. So therefore, a past tense.
But that sounds like it would be a person.
Yeah, a monopolist, a monopolism. Yeah. You can say monopolism.
Yeah.
You can be monopolistic.
Sure.
So I don't understand why something can't be manipulated. I want to, and here's the greatest thing, if you didn't know this, and then we're going to go right back into Turkey, is that you can submit words to dictionary and have them accepted. And this is how the dictionary grows. When a word is either in the Urban Dictionary or it's being used in a certain context or could be based on derivatives of other words. It just, to me, as a complete fortuitous accident, fortuitous is the word, is that it might be. I don't know. I just want to put that to bed. So, Amy, here's the question. You spend a lot of money on Thanksgiving dinner. We do it every single year. It's getting more and more expensive, although last year it was because it took a bird flu to go ahead and slow down the ascension of turkey. What are you doing as a family to say Christmas is going to be different, if anything at all? And then I want to hear what Leroy's doing, and then
Christmas
we can talk about what we're doing. No, Christmas, because you've already spent money on your Thanksgiving dinner. You said you've already spent $400.
Yeah. So seriously, and we usually do steak. We don't even do turkey because no one likes turkey. So we do filet mignon. We go to Costco, get the filet, slice it up. Ooh. That's what we have. Because we're not big turkey people, but
see,
we are those people.
I like it.
We still do like a tiny one for those people who are like, oh, we have to have turkey. So we can do like a small one for those losers, but everyone needs the filet mignon. Because it's so good. But no, so I do
prime rib for Christmas.
Oh, that's a good one too. Yeah.
That's good. Yes. As I mean, we're red meat people. So it's like, that just makes sense for us. But I had a conversation with my kids for the first time because they're getting older. And I'm like, look, Christmas is going to be different this year. We are going to scale it back. And I don't feel like we go overboard too much. I do think we go overboard. I don't think it's to the extent that some families do. And when I did a quick Google search on Christmas, it said that the average person spent about $250 per kid. And I'm like, how the F is that possible when one thing they're asking for is more than $250? Like, I don't understand that at all.
We're horrible. We're horrible with that. We are. I mean, I think one Christmas we spent almost $1,000 per kid.
It was $1,200.
My budget is $1,000 per kid. I thought that was like normal because I'm like, this year I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to do like $750 or less. Like, I'm trying to scale it.
If we get out for $25, we're going to be stoked. Just kids, what do you want for your birthday? We're wrapping summer clothes into Christmas. Like in April, we're like, this is part of your Christmas present, right? Leroy, how about you? How much are you spending on Thanksgiving dinner? And with this new Chiefs salary, shit, you're rolling in the dough. You just go to the Chiefs mess and
So-
bring it home.
That's not happening. No, I have to use these bullshit dollars here. These ones that say, yeah. I don't know if you can see
So
that.
good. That's really
Anyway.
high quality. Where did you get that? Those are really good.
I had that made. I'm spending these actually.
Is that legal?
I'm kidding. No, it's not legal.
I didn't think it was legal because those look pretty authentic.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, look at that, guys. That really looks.
2020.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you manipulate it to be a fake number. It's the inner work, the front of it, everything. I mean, it looks really good.
Oh, it's good. Yeah. Anyway, so we usually go a little bit over on Thanksgiving anyway. There's this local gourmet grocery store that we all hit up. It's called Dorothy Lane Markets. Shout out to Dorothy Lane. If you can give me, 20% off my bird, that'd be great.
Jeez.
They are.
He's Taylor Swifting the bird.
No, they really are insanely expensive. If you pull up their website, like their bakery, everything they have in that store is ridiculous. And you can, like, if you go there, you can buy like crab legs and have them prepared there for you to take home. It's that kind of store. Anyway,
That's cool.
so we're not. Fortunately, there's not that many of us. There's only the 4 of us, so we don't really put too much of an emphasis on the price range for Thanksgiving. That being said, groceries in general have skyrocketed, and we all have noticed it. And I think it just gets more kind of pronounced when you have two boys who are still, growing, and so they basically clean you out of everything. That being said, I'm not really worried about it, but Christmas may end up suffering a little bit, right?
Do you say this is just something I heard you say, and I'm not questioning it because I say it both ways. Emphasis or impetus?
Emphasis.
Okay. I've heard it both ways. Okay. It's interesting. I just I couldn't hear the word. It kind of cracked, and I'm like, oh, I'm interested to hear what's the way he says that.
Maybe I
Some
said it
people are
too
like,
fast.
no, dude. The amount of talking that we do on this show and the amount of talking we do a day, you're going to occasionally stumble over a word. The question is do you really know what the word is, or are you stumbling? And
Nope.
it happens. At least you're not making words up, like manipulated.
I didn't say that.
No, I did make it up. It's supposed to be manipulated, but it didn't work out that way.
I thought you're supposed to say monopolized or monopol. That's what I thought you were.
Well,
going
you can
for.
monopolization
Matriculate.
is a part of the thing. See, that's the thing. There's so many derivatives of the word monopoly. It's just hard for me to assume that the past tense version. I guess it'd be manipulating. No, I don't know. It's just it's fucking.
Oh,
in my
let's just
craw.
make
Something tells me we're going to bring this up
spend
in
an
like
entire show just
I just say we
making
say
up
it.
words like testiculated.
Testiculated. No, that doesn't make any sense. You're right. But manipulator doesn't work either.
No.
No, because if I'm a manipulator, well, then manipulated would work. It doesn't matter. Liv, tell them what we're doing for Thanksgiving, because I think this is a listen. This idea, man. I'm going to give you guys a hint.
Well,
So,
can I tell them the premise around why we ended
Yes,
up
but you
going
must
there?
not tell them what we're doing until I look it up.
Okay, so ironically, it was actually brought up at the very beginning of the conversation, and it was all shot down. So we all got together to make our list of what we want, and no one likes the same thing. So
And
it
every year.
turned into
Really?
an argument with the whole
Oh,
family
wicked
about
fight. Wicked fight.
everyone.
Wicked
It's
fight.
Wicked, just like, we want pumpkin. No, I don't want. I want a pie. I
That's
don't like
not
pie.
what
Blah,
happened.
blah, blah, blah.
That's
It was
not
just-
what happened.
Oh, it was.
She's lying. What happened is every single year they come up to me and they goes, Dad, what do you want? And I'm like, turkey. I don't want turkey. Blah, blah, blah. Then they fight. Then 10 minutes
Why the hell
later-
do you ask?
Yeah, right. Dad, what type, do you want cranberry sliced or cranberry freaking all, the whatever it is. It's like
The cranberry jellied sauce. or
cranberry
whatever.
jellied sauce. And I'm like, I want the jellied sauce all broken up. That's what I want. I don't want the slices. I don't like that. I'm going to get the slice, Olivia says. And I'm like, okay, fuck it. I don't care. Another 10 minutes goes by. What type of pie do you want? I'm like, strawberry pie, cherry pie, apple pie. They're like, I don't like apple pie. I don't like the crust on it. Let's do pumpkin. And I'm like, that's not a pie because it doesn't have a top layer. That's
Oh,
a cake.
God, we're not starting
But we're
that
not going to
again.
start that shit again. So I go, fine, I don't care anymore. So what type of gravy do you want, Dad? I'm like, well, you know what? I really like turkey gravy or a brown gravy because we're having turkey. No, I want chicken gravy. And I'm like, finally, you know what? This happens every year. You guys are cool. Just don't ask me. I'm going to play Diablo. You guys go upstairs, figure out what I'm having for Thanksgiving dinner. And I love you all.
Right.
And then they kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And finally I'm like, okay, we're done. I've had enough. No more asking me. I now want to be out of this conversation. Don't ask me again, please. Because I'm starting to
Is
get
this
upset.
like when the headache is starting to kick in?
Dude,
is that
you
when-
have no fucking idea. I gave them like 20 warnings. Finally, they do it one more time. And I'm like, everybody get the fuck out of this room right now, or I am going to blow my fucking lid. Fuck Thanksgiving. It's over. No Christmas. No New Year's. It's over. Christmas is canceled. And I was so pissed. And of course, why is Dad getting so upset? Why is Dad so mad? Of course, that's an exaggeration. But the point is that there was a level of frustration over this. And I'm just like, okay, Christmas is over. If Santa even shows up, I'm going to blow him away, right? I'm just going to blow him off the freaking roof. So this is what happened. Now, then we all calmed down. We went upstairs and started talking. And this is what we came up with. Go ahead. Oh, let me show them the video first and then see if they know. Okay?
Okay.
This will be great. This will be fun.
Oh, love it.
Is it going to work?
Yeah.
I thought I was frozen for a second. I'm like, crap.
It's smiling at me.
Yeah.
Fragile.
my God.
Must be Italian.
Why is it not working? Hold on.
I just love the mom
There
in
it
this
is.
movie. She's such
Rah,
a
rah,
mom.
rah, 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 rah.
Okay, we're not going to watch the movie if everyone starts, come on now. All right.
Probably do it.
It's smiling. Yes, I guess that's okay.
No. Not rah, 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 la, 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 la. Sing like this. Deck the halls with boughs of holly. Fa la 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 la. Try again.
Okay.
Deck the hall with boughs of holly.
House of Hori.
So that's the cat out of the bag. Olivia is going to go ahead and tell us what we're doing.
We will be going to Benihana's for dinner on Thursday night.
Nice.
Love Benihana's.
And the funny thing is at the very beginning of the conversation, Matt said, let's go to Benihana's. And everyone was like, no.
No, they're like, no, I'm not going to Benihana's for Thanksgiving. And then the fight ensued. And then at the end of it, I'm finally like, you know what? I'm like, what's open on Thanksgiving? I'm like, Asians, they don't have a soul. Let's go ahead and go and do whatever Asians do.
Well,
They're heathens.
The kids also, after they were like, why are we going to take this much food that we don't ever eat this much?
right.
It's a lazy get fat day. Why
Yep.
are we going to stuff all that food? What's the point? So, yeah.
We're going to Benihana's and we're gonna
Is there
have
anything
hibachi steak.
better
Have
than
you
when
been to Sakura's?
It's not close.
It's
to
not
It's not Benihana.
not nearly as good as
It's not
Benihana.
Benihana.
I think Sakura's is better than Benihana's.
See, I grew up on Benihana, and I remember when it used to be, when it was the best. And then Sakura and other places popped up, and they're fantastic. But I like Benihana's.
Nothing could beat it in Colorado because of the sashimi beef.
Their ginger sauce is to die for, and I love their soy teriyaki sauce. It's really good. And their beef sashimi they stopped making, but that's essentially raw beef, and it's just seared on both sides.
so
Oh
good.
my God, I love Benihana, and we do hibachi. We get the Rocky's Choice hibachi steak and chicken. We haven't been there in years. And I'm like,
It's been Texas.
this is the one, man. I'm like, we're going to have the best Thanksgiving. Come home. We won't be over bloated. The great thing about Chinese, whether you're sleeping with them or eating, is that you want to have it again an hour later. It's the right place. So that's where we're
There's
going.
nothing better
have
than when you
the
go
Australian one?
someplace with a family as diverse as yours in terms of what they want dietary speaking, right? And so
Yeah.
what does this place do? They bring you this list of food on the menu and have whatever you want. That way there's, it alleviates all of that nightmare in terms of the kitchen prep and
Guys,
good call.
it's going to be
Good
like
call.
for that meal. I mean, because we're going to make sure, Olivia's going to get her banana pina colada daiquiri. The kids will get virgin, daiquiri, strawberry daiquiris. I'll get my Kirin 40 ouncer because definitely at that point I'm just going to give all in and just get my Ichiban beer. And then by the time all's said and done with appetizers and everything, it's going to be $225. It's still going to be cheaper than Thanksgiving, and we have no cleanup. And then you get some guy who's making freaking volcano out of rice and fucking making
the heartbeat,
making a train out of onions. Are you kidding me? And he makes an egg walk. I mean, it's just, he's like, oh, you want to see egg walk? It's so funny. And you're just like, it doesn't matter. I've heard it 1,000 times. You're just so fucking clever. I love it.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Benihana.
It's a great idea.
Let's
I'm
all
all
go
for a
together.
restaurant. I really am. I think
go together.
it's the way to go sometimes. Maybe we will.
You should. Just cancel.
Well, we actually could this year because we are doing tomorrow, Wednesday, and Wednesday also included in our Thanksgiving celebrations because Thursday is going to be a very quiet day for us. So we're actually not celebrating on Thursday this year.
I love this.
Dude,
and
come
even
with
if we
us.
don't do it Thursday,
Reservations are on are 5:30.
yeah, and we can change it. And then what we do is bring Mikey along. And then when he comes and sits down and the guy's like, oh, you want to see egg walk? I'm like, no, you want to press the shit out of me? Make Mike walk. Fantastic. We should do it. Is there a rim shot in here anywhere? Yeah. Do I never get I don't get a rim shot anymore.
Sorry.
Last time. No, it's okay.
Let's see.
It's okay. If you have to ask for your own rim shot, it's just.
It's not in front. It's like now that I'm on the show, I'm not just focusing on that anymore.
I know.
So it's like a second thought now.
But you should.
And also, one more thing about hibachi, because I do take it very seriously. There's a place.
Yes,
it was like an hour and 15-minute drive for you guys, but it's called Nichi Baikai, and it's not a chain restaurant at all. So,
God bless you.
and I think they only have 2 hibachi girls in the restaurant, but they have the best pho and they have the best hibachi menu, and they are amazing. They're not just like entertaining, but their food's amazing. Just FYI. So yeah,
What did you
find
just call
yourself
me?
near Baltimore.
Call me a pho?
Pho.
I mean pho?
Pho.
That's pho.
We call it pho.
It's pho. It is pho, and it should be pho. Because anything that says PHO is faux show, but
Faux show?
Vietnamese,
But
they
we
got to
call
be
it pho.
different.
Yeah.
Next video, and then Leroy is going to jump in. We got plenty of time. We're doing this right, even with all the arguing and the incessant.
What arguing? What are you talking
back
about?
and forth. Just say,
Oh, God
ladies and
bless
gentlemen,
her.
it wouldn't be Jen Psaki unless
Patty.
somebody was making her look worse.
Speaking of Peppermint Patty, who's going to watch Charlie Brown Thanksgiving this year?
I hate that show.
I'm not a Charlie
can't-
Brown
I
fan, but
can't
there's
stand-
Peppermint Patty.
I would literally take Lucy and I would take a rock to her. Like once she did that to me like 70 times, I would finally go up and they would never find her body. It would just be like, do, 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 do. Ah, you hear a scream. What's wrong with
That's the
Lucy?
kind
It
of-
turned into a horror film.
That's the kind of cartoon character that just needs that one dude that she has one domestic abuse thing going on.
That's right.
Next thing you know, it straightens her
That's
on for
funny
life.
It's funny you mentioned that because we're going to do that. Actually, we're not going to do this. We're going to go into the domestic abuse video because it makes a great segue. Well done. Let's see if I can find it. Yep, I can. So, okay. First of all, this video, people are very upset at me. What's new? I wonder if it's just
Imagine
my
that.
opinions. I imagine that people, this guy's like, you're a real nice piece of work. So first of all, this is why this is going to draw some ire from the ladies. This person, Rachel Bitkoffer, who just sounds like a peach, right? I'm surprised she doesn't have 3 names, but she does have a Ukraine flag, an Israel flag, and a needle in it. So this woman doesn't miss any fucking occasion. So completely a liberal, I'm sure. Although the Israel flag's a little bit confusing considering that it seems that Dems despise the Jews lately.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and pretend that she's... Anyway, so here's the deal, is this video was making its way around. And I will tell you that Olivia will tell you that I am one of the most ardent take a pair of scissors and emasculate a male physically if he abuses his wife. Like, not okay with it at all. But this Rachel person says Republicans like Matt Walsh want to make America women live like this again by making us legally subservient to our men. That's called slavery.
What
And-
the hell?
And luckily we have 14th Amendment. So we go round and round. And then all I said was, we usually want y'all to eat less cake. Just saying. And then,
that's good.
and then she says, the lady says, my God, so many people have blocked me. And Robin goes, by smacking her face. And I said, is that the only way you would eat less cake? Silly question. And then she goes, seeing a woman slapped aggressively in the face by her husband is disturbing. The fact that it isn't to you is concerning. And I'm like,
unless it's a turn on for her.
well, this is what I said. I said, no. Seeing a 2-bit feminista making an attempt to malign Matt Walsh with a woman being slapped aggressively is disturbing. You're just mad because I refuse to buy into the pejorative argument that has nothing to do with Walsh. So instead, I made it about cake because that is just as arbitrary and mundane. Thanks. Here's the video. And oh God, the Middle Eastern music is killing me here. So pardon me. Here we go. All right, here it is.
Put this in your mouth.
So immediately she looks timid, and possibly
does.
that her mandible doesn't work. Probably because she got socked in the jaw a couple times, and I hate to say it, but you know he already told her twice. Obviously, this poor lady. I mean, you can tell that the dowry just dried, and this poor woman is probably sold off to this guy. So what does she do? At her wedding day, you know, hey, I'm going to buy that bitch a Pepsi. It's our anniversary. You think this guy would let her have a little bit of fun. I mean, it is your wedding day. You are in front of a bunch of people. You've had a few pops. You should be relaxed, not literal pops. And she just tries to be coy with him, a little bit of flirtatiousness, thinking maybe marriage will be different. And after she was traded for 3 camels and some property in some unknown place in the Middle East, that this guy would be able to take a joke. So what does she do? She gets playful. Watch what he does. There's the mistake. She pulled the cake away from him as he went in to bite it, and a slight overreaction is incoming. Just a small one. Here it is.
Oh, we can tell how that marriage is going to go. I'm amazed her dad hasn't jumped in and
Well, that's
punched him
the
in
whole
face.
thing. I mean, the guy
That's what I
did.
was gonna say.
That is an Ike Turner reenactment
What
if
a
I've ever seen
douche.
it. If I saw that, I'd grab that guy and I would literally end him. I would turn his insides out and beat the living shit out of him in front of everybody. But
It's not like she smushed it in his face or anything. My God,
she
what
just
the
pulled it away.
hell?
He really wanted his cake and eat it too. But No? Okay. So the whole thing is, my opinion is it's wrong. Of course it's wrong, but it has nothing to do with Republicans and Matt Walsh. So my joke isn't, I'm not going to allow someone to make this an emotional fallacy argument. You tried to malign Matt Walsh, who is not a spousal abuser, who's a good husband by all accounts and a great father. I'm making fun of you and making it about cake because it's just stupid to make it about anything else. That has nothing to do with Republicans. It has nothing at all to do with Matt Walsh. And that was my comment. But I want to get your opinion on this. The left is now not only is Nazi, xenophobe, we're wife beaters now. And it's incredible. Your thoughts on this? Amy, you go first. I know you've got an opinion on this.
Oh, I can speak from literal experience on this subject, and I'll just say my abuser is a fucking liberal. Excuse my language. I won't even say liberal. I'll say leftist, like far leftist. Yeah.
Whoa.
So.
And now I know I hate him. Now it's like Doc Holly. Now I know I hate him.
Yeah. I'll just say
What a
that.
putz.
I mean, yes, it's one opinion, and my personal experience being thrown into this, and I get infuriated anytime I see a man treating a woman this way.
Yep.
Or anyone treating anyone with disrespect. It goes both ways, and I know, but I don't have to say that. But I have this conversation. I literally had this conversation with my children about how a man should treat a woman. And I was like, have you ever seen Jason raise his voice to me? Have you ever seen him get, yes, we have arguments. He has never been nasty to me. He has never even
Uh-oh.
thought
Oh,
about
shit.
raising a hand to me,
Right.
like it's like
You can't raise your
I'm like,
voice at him?
I raise my
can't-
voice at him because
Oh.
but he has.
Oh, so it's
do.
okay. Because I'm like, holy shit, I need to duck out. Because I'm like, I'm a horrible
No, no, no.
husband. Because we
No,
yell
no,
at each
no.
other all the time.
Oh, he'll yell at
So
me,
do
but
we.
he doesn't like scream. There's like a level. Do you know what I mean? Like there's never
No,
like he
no, I
doesn't
don't.
cross that threshold.
Explain it to me. I don't know it. I don't. I have no
Well-
clue. I didn't know there was a volume control in fights. I thought whoever yelled the loudest won. That's what I thought growing
but
up.
we fight. I think for the most part we do fight respectfully, and I'm pretty certain. I mean, we've had a few blowout fights for sure, but he'll even admit it. And I think we even had this conversation on the show, him and I once. I'm very quick to say like, "Oh, I'm wrong. You're right." But so is he. No, he's not. He will drag it out for like 2 days until he's like, "You're right. I had to talk to everyone I know, and they had to tell me I was wrong before
He's going
I
to come
could
in there
admit
right
that
now.
you
Just,
were wrong."
just walk up, grab a piece of cake, hand it to you.
No.
You reach for it. Bam.
No,
It
it
sucks.
really bothers me. I was with an abusive man. He is just dog
Piece
shit
of
on the
shit?
bottom of my shoe. I can't stand this person.
I would really love to meet this
to
guy.
to this day, I still have to tolerate the crap because our court systems are not wonderful. I think they do what they can. I mean, there's limitations on everything. But it gets my blood pressure going, and I don't know this man. Where is this woman's father? If my dad
The
had
father
witnessed something like
probably
this,
sold them.
no, my dad would have. That guy would be if my father had ever seen
You
some of
got
the
like
stuff that I
6
went through.
goats in trade.
Yeah. Just
I
saying.
mean, if
My
this
dad
was in the
would've
Middle
really
East, one of the Muslim countries that actually does Sharia law, then it's no big deal.
Oh yeah, they're like, oh,
Whatever.
Mohammed, you really know how to treat a woman.
Yeah. That was too nice. They would be like, "That's too nice. You should have taken her teeth out." Like,
Hey, you should have used a fist, not your
But-
palm of your hand.
Here's the. Oh, sorry, I didn't know we we're done.
it's
Sorry, go.
it's not a Middle Eastern. It's not Middle Eastern country. Her, even though she had like the sheer thing on, that's not allowed. So like she was dressed. That was not a Middle Eastern.
Well, it
like,
could be
in a
Egypt. It
Middle
could be
Eastern country wedding.
Morocco. It could be a more lenient Middle Eastern country for
Algeria.
sure. Yeah, there's plenty that don't hold to that standard. Not everybody. I mean, there's different forms of Sharia law. There's Sharia law. I cut your hands off and throw acid in your face, and then there's Sharia law. I just beat you when I want to.
Yep.
There's different forms of Sharia law. So it just depends on how intense they are surrounding the belief structure. But there are places that are a little less lenient that don't make people wear burqas. It's not Lebanon. It's not all Lebanon. It's not all Saudi. It's not all Kuwait. I'm sorry. You're looking at me like I'm crazy. What am I saying wrong?
I think she froze.
I was like, she
did
won't stop
freeze.
staring at me. I'm like, she looks so disapproving right now. I'm like, what am I saying wrong, Amy?
She's giving you the evil eye right there.
I know.
Stink
She's like,
eye.
listen,
Laser
Matt,
eyes.
it is all Middle Eastern countries. You son of a biznatch. So as we get Amy back, let me kick her so she can come back. Whoa, holy God. Everybody's
Whoa.
intimate. So as we there she is.
Who dat?
Who dare? I did that as one of my nuts straights today was who dare? Amy, are you there?
Mother of pearl.
Mother of pearl. So we haven't heard that in a while. So holy shiza. Amy,
Holy cannoli.
come on, Amy.
Maybe internet.
Amy.
The Don't Unfriend Me show calling Amy.
Facebook's being.
Okay.
Durr,
We don't use
tonight.
that word.
I know. I was going to say it.
So here's my
You
argument.
mean meta? Tell me you mean meta.
Holy. Hello, Amy.
Can you
Oh,
hear
no,
me
we
when
can't
I'm
hear you.
frozen? Or can you not
Now
even
you're
hear me when
better.
I'm frozen?
No, but you were staring at me. I'm like, why is she fucking staring at me? I'm like, what am I saying that's
was
so
the
wrong?
stink
Because all I
eye.
was saying was there's like a different level of Sharia law. Some Muslim countries are more lenient on, they'll just beat their wife versus throw acid or cut her hands off or kill her mother. So my
Okay.
point is
I don't
that
know.
somewhere burkas. So here's the thing that I'll say, because we got to move to the next topic for Leroy, is my biggest stink, and this is what shut them all up. After I had like 300 of those, just people melting the fuck down, liberals just, you're a sexist white oppressor. I'm like, yeah, that's not really the point. The point is, I'm asking you is, why do you go ahead and take after Matt Walsh, who consistently defines what a real woman is, and you support people who destroy your femininity, and pretend that you're not a woman, when a man can simply put on some lipstick and a dress and devalue who you are, desanctify who you are as a person and as a female. So why would you not support Matt Walsh versus despise him? So the real key is not that it's Matt Walsh or not that you think he's a wife beater. It's because he's a Republican. That's your problem. And that's the shtick you have with him, which makes you maligning him with wife beaters and people who are horrible towards women is just a way for, once again, you to degrade a person, defame a person, and essentially espouse mistruths on them. And that should bother everybody. So the question is, why doesn't it bother you? And nobody has replied since. The simplest thing to destroy a leftist is use their own logic against them and say, you're the person who doesn't like women. It's not Matt Walsh. Now, Matt Walsh can be a real dick. And in fact, I don't like Matt Walsh on a lot of days because I just think he's just so freaking ingrained in his own bullshit that he just latches onto things like a bulldog. But in this case, he has fervently defended women. And I think any woman who has a problem with that has a problem with his political disposition and not necessarily what he says. Anybody else want to chime in on that? Okay, last topic. Leroy, go ahead and take it, buddy. It's all you. We actually got to it tonight, which is an exciting thing. We are talking about the Pentagon fails their 6th audit in a row. Leroy, tell us all about it.
All right, dummies, strap in. Here we go.
Holy
For the
shit.
sixth year in a
Strap on.
sixth year in a row, the Pentagon has failed its annual audit. This week in the headlines from Fox, Bloomberg, The Hill, Stars and Stripes all ran the story, but CNN and MSNBC barely even mentioned it. Republican from Minnesota, Tom Emer, said that the Pentagon having failed was unacceptable in one of his posts online. And the Department of Defense comptroller, a guy named Mike McCord, said that auditing the department's 3.8 trillion in assets and 4 trillion in liabilities is a massive undertaking. McCord said that the process of conducting the audit alone was $187 million. So we're spending nearly $200 million just to find out that we don't know how we're spending the money. The audit consisted of 29 sub-audits and examined approximately $4 trillion in assets and another $4 trillion in liabilities. Now, back in 2019, left-leaning NPR ran a headline that read that the Pentagon has never passed an audit. Just for a little context here, folks, the U.S. GDP, the gross domestic product of the United States, is roughly $23 trillion. And from that, the government gets its annual revenue of about $4.5 trillion by taxing us. Broken down, that budget mostly comes from, well, it's not mostly, it gets 3.9% of that tax revenue from corporate taxes, another 12% from consumption taxes, another 17% from where the hell else? But the majority of it, 41.5% of their budget comes from the individual taxes that we all pay, the income taxes. And I can hear some of you guys out there saying right now, but Leroy, not everyone pays taxes. It's because Matt's right. Matt has mentioned this on the show before. Only about 60% of Americans actually pay income tax. The remaining 40% of incomes do not pay a dime towards their annual income tax, which means that of the 320 million people that roughly 198 million people pay the majority of that tax bill. And for the DoD budget, just from that is $750 billion. So boiled down, that's about $2,500 per person, per tax-paying person. When you take into account the average hourly wage in the United States of about $34 an hour, that means that everyone who's watching this and everyone who's getting paid roughly that average has worked right around $80 just to pay for their DoD portion of the tax bill. Not the entire federal tax bill, just the DoD part of it. So for 80 hours of your life, you have paid this money towards the DoD, right? Again, that budget is something like $753 billion. And what have we spent that on? Well, we've sent $113 billion to Ukraine. We've sent another $14.5 billion, or Biden actually pledged to send $14.3 billion toward to Israel. And it's just adding on. It's just adding on to the national debt, which is at a staggering $33.74 trillion. I've made a post about this before. If you were to stack a dollar like these on top of each other, like this, right, and count that 33.74 trillion times, this stack would go to the moon and halfway back to the earth.
Yep.
It is unbelievable how much we owe. And in the meantime, we're going through these audits and we don't even know what we're spending. We don't know where the money is. They're missing literally trillions of dollars. Think about that. And so...
Oh, okay, sorry. Thought we were done. Go ahead.
And so when we're talking about voting patterns, when we're talking about listening to your state representatives tell you that the rich should pay their fair share, or that we need to send another $10 trillion to this country because they're being oppressed, really start to ask yourself, okay, how much am I on the hook for in this case? How much more am I going to have to work for the government in order to pay for that tax bill? We need to start getting to that type of thinking, because we cannot continue in this level of spending and expect that we're going to have a country to pass down to our children. You know, at some point, we have to ask ourselves how much U.S. debt and how much U.S. spending is acceptable before we consider it a national security issue. That's all I had.
Yeah.
So to touch on this quickly, I received it. If you have to go, Amy.
No, I have a comment, but you go first.
No, this is, I'm going to try to breeze through this. This is from Michael Risner Demassier. I don't know. He took the name of his husband, obviously, because he has 3 names. So this guy decided to write me. I banned him from the show. And this is the guy that was telling me that Nikki Haley, this is what he said. He said the United States government 24 hours before 9/11 lost $2 trillion the night before. Now it's a fucking lie. He said it was 2.3 trillion. It's been debunked. It's bullshit. It's a complete lie. It's not true. Now, if you want to take over since the defense budget since 1950, the United States government has lost almost $9.6 trillion in defense spending. It's absolutely true. It's not lost. It's unappropriated money that Congress does not want to have oversight to because it's not appropriately spent. And after Iran-Contra, after Reagan, they put things in place to assure that every single dollar and every single piece of oversight was appropriated by Congress. Well, guess what? That still doesn't happen, because I could name 3 programs right now where if I say the names, Leroy is going to literally shit himself and blow up in purple mass if I say these 3 names of these programs. So I'm not going to say it. But these 3 programs were never appropriated by Congress, and they cost over $1 trillion to make. There is too many things that have been spent that are under clandestine completely 100% autonomous. There are too many wars. Obama ran 16 proxy wars. You didn't see any of that money on defense budget. 16 proxy wars. Go look at the defense budget. Look at how much money we put into Iraq as recent as 2017. Why? Look how much money we were putting in Afghanistan. Look how much money we were putting into Ukraine before it even fired and kicked off. Look how much money we put into South Korea. Look how much money we put into Israel. In Israel itself, we put over $330 billion over our lifetime relationship with Israel. Don't sit here and tell me that all this money is appropriated. So when this guy comes in and he goes, Nikki Haley, blah, 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 and writes me I didn't even read your fucking email because I don't need to, because let me tell you why. You started off with a lie, and your statement started off as saying the United States government lost $2.3 trillion the night before 9/11 happened. It's an immediate lie, and everything else you say is bunk. That is how I process. That is how I filter. If you start off with lying, it means everything else you're saying, your premise is invalid, and you're trying to quantify your lie. And you're trying to be a qualitative argument, which you can't because it's not true. The United States government did not lose $2.3 trillion the night before 9/11. And anyone who is trying to prove a conspiracy theory. So this guy wrote me this 17-page freaking email, and I just laugh at him because you lied. You're wrong. But like I said when I first started ripping this guy apart, is the portions of the things he says are true. And therefore, it makes it sound ultra realistic, which is what I called him out for. This guy decided to go ahead and write me an epitaph. And guess what? I didn't fucking read it. And I'm not going to read it. So that's all I had to say about that. Whoever's next, go.
Real quick, I just wanted to add on to what I was saying was that I understand that all of this money is being spent, in U.S. best interests and everything. I get that. I don't have a problem with that. I only have a problem with the fact that it's not being accounted for, in that nobody can tell me where 1,500 of my dollars that I have paid towards to Uncle Sam, where that money is. When someone gets audited by the IRS can look back at your records it's like 6 years, right? And you have to be accountable to the United States for, within a couple of $100. Otherwise, they lose their mind. And next thing you know, you're either, in front of a judge or you're being sentenced, right? Why is the same rule not in effect for the other way around? That's all I'm saying. I just want to know that our money is being spent appropriately and that it's being accounted for and not being shipped off to God knows where. That's all I'm saying.
Amy, go ahead and answer the question that Leroy's asking, or just chime in on the point you were going to make.
No, I don't have an answer, but I don't think that a lot of younger Americans care about this issue because they're not understanding the amount of money that this is. When you hear trillions of dollars,
Right.
Most people cannot wrap their head around that amount of money. And I think people I think it like literally is like it glosses over them because there's no way for them to relate to it. So they don't care. Does that make sense? And that's literally from only personal experience from talking with people that I know and asking, these questions and having the conversations. And I think a lot of people are like, trillion, billion's hard to comprehend.
Right.
Millions back in the day was hard to comprehend for most people. So now we're in trillions, and that's not a number that most people can even understand because that's not a number that we see. We're lucky to see. I think most people, it's hard. We live in a different area here.
Honestly,
millions is normal.
Hold on a second.
It's almost like because it's the same number of syllables, right?
Yeah.
Million, billion, trillion. Oh, it's all the same.
Well, let me ask you a question. Have you ever died? Have any of you died in your dream?
No.
No, you never have. And it's believed that from a psychological standpoint that if you die in your dream, the damage that would do to your overall psyche, your brain couldn't cope with, and et cetera. So most people wake up before they die. Their heart rate goes to it. You can't sleep with a certain heart rate. Your heart gets to a certain point, you're going to wake up. And this is why a lot of people wake up. They get out of that sedated, sleep REM cycle, and they get above the 65, 70 beats a minute, and then their body wakes up, and that's what causes people to sleep. The same thing holds true thinking about space. How many of you have actually followed through with the boundaries of space and gone through it and said, okay, here's my local galaxy, outside of my galaxy, outside of my universe. Now go ahead and go to another universe. How many of you have actually taken it as far as you possibly can go? You can't. You get to a point where your brain cannot compute any longer, just like you can't compute a number that's infinite. Well, the same thing holds true for a lot of things. You can't measure a person's love. You certainly can't measure the national debt and relate to it. And I believe that that's daunting. And it makes people consider it to be like religion, to be like the boundaries of space, to be like conceptualizing time, is that it's an impossible improbability. It can't happen, so therefore we don't even try. And when we try to conceptualize $33 trillion, there is no way anyone on the earth will ever be worth $33 trillion. And there's no conceivable way that anyone could conceptualize how to make $33 trillion. So why do we even bother trying to pretend that any of us are going to be able to pay this thing back or pay it down? Because we can't even figure out how to pay what we owe as a person, let alone as a society. Liv, any thoughts on this? That's what I fucked up. I'm sorry, honey. We should have let you go first. We broke the rule.
To be honest, I didn't have any thoughts on it to begin with. So,
well, see, that would have been great for you to say, yeah, you know what, Matt, you didn't let me go first. That's why I don't have anything to say, but I appreciate your candor and honesty. Last minute, I'm going to give Olivia her minute first. Anything you wanted to say, we can even go back into Taylor Swift, or if manipulated is a word, anything else. It's your 1 minute. Go ahead, Liv.
Head on over to YouTube.
We need more YouTube
We
people.
have 194 left to go. I'm really hoping for 1,000 before the end of the year. Tell your friends.
I'm going to take my Facebook advertising money and repurpose it to YouTube.
Tell your friends.
Folks, we're on Spreaker.com. If you go over to Spreaker.com, you can listen to our podcast. You can go over there and distribute it if you want to. It's a much more stable platform. And Anchor, I found out Anchor was screwing us over for the last 3 years. And you can actually make money off podcasts. Little did I know. With Spreaker, they've been taking care of me very well over the last 3 days, surprisingly enough. It's been a little bit much to get it working. We're up on Apple. Spotify's getting rectified, but you can find us on Spreaker, Apple. Those are good enough for now. Spotify and the others should be coming online soon. Amy, your 1 minute.
I just really hope everyone has a happy and safe, Thanksgiving. And I'll say it, we are getting to that time of year that a lot of veterans, or really anyone, they have a hard time with the holidays. I think we are in that prime time right now. I know some people who are struggling right now personally. So I, just remember to reach out to those people that you haven't talked to in a while and make sure they're doing okay. Invite them over for a meal, a coffee. Just reach out to those people that we love, that we are in our hearts, but maybe not always someone we talk to every day. Just remember those people. Reach out to everybody that you love and care about, and have a happy and safe Thanksgiving.
Awesome. Do me a favor. Please follow us on Spreaker. Go over there. You can also go on Apple. Leave us a review. 5-star would be fantastic. 1 star is not good. I don't know what planet you're from, but 1 star is, you're the number 1 star. No. 5 stars are better than 1 star. Just like you want to give a 1. I'm going to give you a 1 out of 10. No. Less is more, Matt. No, don't try to, please stop trying to explain it. 5 stars are better. Thomas Austin, we love our fellow green crayon eating Marines, gave me a 4-star at one point. He said, well, I haven't received the product yet, so I gave you a 4. I'm like, why are you rating it if you haven't received the fucking product? And second, go get your ass on there and give it a 5-star right now, whether you like it or not. Leroy, your minute, buddy. Your minute.
I remember that.
For
my minute, I would absolutely just like to take a moment to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Amy, please enjoy your filet mignon. Matt, you're going to Benihana. You rat. That is awesome. That's going to be great. Good on you.
Yes, sir.
And for all of the listeners, all of the dummies who are watching, we appreciate you watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends about it. Like, we genuinely enjoy doing this, and we wouldn't do this at all if it wasn't for you guys. So please like, share, and subscribe. Go over to YouTube. We need you there. And past that, just everyone have a really great Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thanks for being here. Leroy, happy birthday. I don't know. Did you hear we sang you happy birthday the other day?
No. Now I got to go back. Oh, I love you
We
guys.
can have Hayden come sing it again.
It would require you to turn up the volume and watch the show. And second, did you also get the Facebook post where a few hundred people said happy birthday? Okay.
I liked
Well,
every one of them. I took my time and liked every damn one of those guys. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. I mean that.
How old are you now?
53.
No way.
You don't look 53. Yeah.
Yeah, Dominic Izzo's ready to turn
try not to
50,
act
and I'm
like
just
that.
like, he's like, I'm 50 in 15 months. I'm like, dude, you look like you're 65. He's a great guy. I want to get him on the show. He's a real smart guy. He's got. I'm excited when Spreely finally drops and they kick off. By the way, that's going to be a huge announcement. There'll be 9 million people who they're going to mail blast out that the Don't Unfriend Me show is now a part of Spreely. We're getting close. The video app is working a lot better. There's Spreely social media. The podcast everything's starting to click. So it's just going to take a little bit more time. It's probably going to be January, first of the year that we're going to announce it. And then we're going to be ready for the new year. And the fact that they've got so many, I've seen their algorithm and I've seen the amount of people that interact with the show. It's impressive. They get 2,000-3,000 viewers on a live show for some of those shows. And I'm pretty confident that ours is pretty damn good. They like our show.
Are we doing a show on Wednesday? People have been asking.
Yeah, we'll be doing a show Wednesday. Thanksgiving is Thursday.
Yes.
No, we won't be doing a Thanksgiving show. We will be back on Friday, though.
We are going to be on Friday?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, who's...
No,
Hell yeah.
you won't. No.
You won't. You
No.
won't. I will.
But you said at the beginning, before
What
we
did you
came
say?
on tonight, you said, I
can't
think
hear
I'm
you.
going to take...
What? I already have one.
Oh, he's muting
I don't
you.
need
What?
another one. I already have one.
What'd
wife.
she say?
I can't hear her. Amy, you're frozen again. What's wrong?
What's wrong?
Oh, Amy just gave me the
Look
finger.
at that.
The fickled salute. Yeah, we'll probably be on
I'm
Friday. I don't know
calling
if
you
I'll
out on your crap.
I need to take some time off. I do. I just once I hit the weights tomorrow, I'll feel fine. I just need to hit the weights, get back in the gym, and then everything will be better. I don't like feeling frumpy and lazy and tired. I hate that. I can't stand it. And I feel like Fiona Apple. I've been a bad girl. So I need to get in the gym.
No,
All right, everybody,
take off
listen.
Friday. Take off time. Spend it with go to Benihana's, overeat, bring home your doggy bag.
It's not
Take off
Benihana's,
Friday.
not
It's
plural.
Black Friday
It's
anyway.
Benihana.
It's Black Friday.
Benihana. I will be doing a morning show in the morning because it's work week.
Best
I
Buys, too.
need to take some time off. I will be here tomorrow morning with bells on, but we need to leave. It's 10:01. I promised Olivia we would be watching the Avs game and go play some Diablo. It's 35% gold and 35% XP week.
Is that what you were trying to show me?
7
I
days.
can't freaking read.
Time to rock and roll. By the way, Olivia and we did reach level 100. I popped my first level 89 dungeon. We're this close to do level 100 dungeons, which I don't know if you understand that, but only like 0.03% of all Diablo players get to a level 100 dungeon and can complete it. And the fact that Olivia and I are like right there on the precipice, it's pretty impressive. So if you want to join the Diablo clan, it's the Dumb Show. You can join us. It's actually Dumb, D-U-M. Join our clan and you can play Diablo with us. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Amy, Leroy, I love having you here. It's good to have
y'all.
you. Mike will be back
Have a great night, guys.
next week. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Love you guys.
See ya.
Bye. Good night.
See you, buddy. Good topics tonight. Don't call me and apologize. You did great.
I'm not apologizing for shit.
I had a feeling you've learned. You have now grown, young Padawan. I'm very proud of you.
We'll see you guys in a little bit.
All right,
Bye.
Bubba. See you guys
Good.
later. I'm trying to find the outro button. Hold on. Good night.
Good
I'm
night.
David Boreanaz with the Cast of SEAL team, and we have an important message for returning vets. We want you to know if you're struggling to cope, there's
Happy
help just a
Thanksgiving.
phone call away.
Happy
The Veterans
Thanksgiving,
Crisis
y'all.
Line is staffed with
Yeah, we'll be doing a
experienced
morning show.
professionals who know your struggles.
Thursday?
There's no greater sacrifice in service to our country.
Tomorrow,
We're
Tuesday.
able to enjoy our freedoms because of it.
Your service is important. You are important.
For vets and their families, the Veterans Crisis Line is here to help 24 hours a day. Please call